Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto live stream. And yes, this is one of those days where you just cannot stop watching the markets because it's been pump after pump after pump after. Whoa! It's been crazy today. And even though it's not like the major altcoin season where you're watching the market and it's up 85% or so in a day. Unfortunately, it ain't that. But what we're seeing right here is pretty freaking good, and I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. First of all, though, welcome everybody back to the crypto channel, or to the channel, I should say. And yeah, hopefully you guys have all been doing well today. I hope so. If you guys are watching right now, let me know in the chat box real quick where you are watching from. And we have a lot of freaking news, but first we have to take a look. Just take a look at the crypto prices today, because this has been awesome. Little fun fact. I was covering in my Telegram like a couple days ago the reason as to why I think it would be a smart idea to buy Bitcoin right now, or rather to open up a long position. 2 days ago, I said, good morning, everybody. Again, this is in my Telegram group, which I recommend you guys all to join. It's completely free. I just recommend it because we have cool info in there. Good morning, everybody. Just as a side note, I've added a bit to my Bitcoin longs today, and I open up a separate long altogether to show you guys as well. Mostly for the reason that US crypto lawsuits have brought us down a notch twice already this week. And what I've noticed throughout being in the crypto space for so long is that these major regulatory bodies, what they tend to do is smack the crypto space. Just give it a little smack. But then right after it rebounds. And we've had that multiple different times. And right here, I noticed, hey, we're bouncing off of a massive trend line here. Again, I said to myself, it will be best to buy at 21.5, but I didn't get the chance to do so. So I bought at $21.6 thousand. And for anybody wondering, if you want to see my exact price point, just go over to my Twitter and check it out for yourself. Here you can see I opened it at 21.633. That's just check back for yourself exactly the minute that I put it over in Telegram as well. Over on Bybit is where I buy it most of the time. Link for that is down below. And yeah, it's been pretty wonderful in the last 2 days here. 117% profit or so, meaning theoretically speaking, if you put $10,000 in, you can understand you're doubling that money, making more money out of it. It's pretty crazy if you start thinking about it. Anyway, what I noticed was, hey, we're seeing a massive trend line here. Basically the tops of the previous bull run, which by the way was 462 days ago. I digress. And it basically lasted for a very significant amount all the way to the middle of January. Then we broke out, did not get the weekly confirmation, but actually fell towards the trend line yet again, bounced off of it, and right now, as I said before, we're basically reaching for that major 200 weekly moving average at roughly $25,000. That's our main goal, that's our main target, and that's the one that we keep on watching, and keep on watching. And yeah, ever since we had our little breakdown because of the SEC over the last couple of weeks, I was like, you know what? If we're going to break down, we're going to have to change a lot of our strategies, because that means we've broken below the trend line. Negative season, basically the bull season is not officially started. I'm not going to go crazy on altcoins, etc., etc., etc. Right now, however, as of this point, depending on how we close this week, indeed, to me, it's true that altcoin season has started, and I should just keep stacking it up and going absolutely wild. It's just my thoughts on the situation, though. I see a lot of people from different places. We have Toronto, Dallas, New York, Georgia, UK, South Africa, Chile, California. Too bad to hear that. Netherlands, Perth, West Australia. Tommy says, oh, I hope it's going to go. BTC just shot up past the previous high in the 23s. Huge jump. Now all the coins are moving again. Yeah, indeed. Bitcoin, by the way, for anybody wondering, and the same thing happens for XRP. The same thing happens for Ethereum. It happened for all the coins, but Bitcoin today primarily. It actually pumped a significant amount. I think it's up like 10% today. And that's something you don't see too often with Bitcoin, actually, that it's up 10% within 1 day. Just for good measure here, we are right now on the, officially it's already the 16th. Anyway, we look at the start of the 15th. Let's check it out. So right around here, towards the top, so you can see up roughly 10% in 20 or 22 hours or so. That's pretty wild for Bitcoin, by the way, guys. Let me quickly see. Guys, anybody that's watching this live stream right... Oh, I'm not showing you anything. Sorry. Sorry, here we go. Let me quickly get that perfectly in frame for all y'all. There we go. There we go. I wanted to say we went from, here you can see right here, roughly 9.5% or so up throughout today. I wanted to say, everybody that's watching this video right now, we have 160 people watching-ish. If you're watching this right now, make sure you press that like button. We can instantly get to like 100 and something likes, because everybody, if you watch it, just press it. It doesn't hurt you at all. It just helps people find the stream a little bit easier, and that's the main reason behind it. So if you don't want to, no worries, but it just helps out a little bit, which is why I ask, because usually when I'm seeing something as well, when I'm watching a video, I don't press it, right? But just, think as a human being as well here. It just helps out, doesn't cost you anything, that's the only reason I ask. Sorry for being intrusive. It just might help out. You understand? Yo, dude, how's it hanging? We're doing good. Actually, today's been a pretty special day if we think about it. But let's go over some of the news, guys. Just in the chat box, if you've seen anything today that's newsworthy, put it in the chat box, because maybe I've not, and then other people might be able to enjoy it. I found a lot of stuff, though. And a lot of it has to do with the stands towards basically regulatory bodies against crypto. They've been going, right? They've not been going so nicely against crypto throughout the last couple of weeks here. These last 2 weeks have been pretty harsh, and it's going to be interesting to see how the whole BUSD situation will develop itself throughout the rest of the crypto space. For the uninitiated, the SEC and the NYDFS, New York Department of Financial Services, I think, maybe it's something else, went after Binance USD, one of the major stablecoins in the crypto space. I believe it's number 7 in the rankings. Let's quickly check. It is number 7 indeed. Now, that basically meant that no new BUSD could be minted by Paxos, the parent company behind this stablecoin. And, well, there was a little bit of a interesting discussion against what was happening with, for my Dutch people, why is this trending? I always use a Dutch VPN, by the way, which is why you might see Dutch tweets and stuff. Always have a VPN on, by the way, just for fun, if you guys don't know. I always have a NordVPN link down below, because I always recommend everybody use a VPN. The country that you picked out, that's your own thing. Why is that trending? My Dutch people will know. If you don't speak Dutch, translate this for yourself. Why is that trending? That's peculiar. Anyway, I already tweeted it out as well somewhere, I believe. First of all, that there's a couple interesting SEC meetings ongoing, one of which is going to happen tomorrow. But another one, which actually has gotten deleted, I notice now. Yeah, the tweet has been deleted because it's not in my likes anymore. It was basically regarding USDC and what's happening in that regard. I've noticed it's out of my likes section, so it must have been deleted. Anyway, there's a really big discussion ongoing, and we're not sure about what's happening between Circle, the massive company behind USDC, and the regulatory bodies, as obviously investigations are narrowing and becoming a little bit more severe. But we're wondering exactly what's happening right there. But there's a lot of rumors going around, some of which turn out to be fake. And as you guys know from news, if one of those guys pushes out a fake article, so many other parties, they just adopt it as fact and kind of go from there. Which is probably what happened recently here. Let's quickly try to... Oh, yeah, I don't know why these guys say, hey, allow ads, ad blocker is off. Why did they not want it? For some reason, they do not want our views. But it said, SEC Chair Gensler, crypto firms need to register to custody assets. If you guys don't know about this situation, this is a very interesting situation from earlier yesterday, I noticed. That was regarding the SEC's new policy for custodians. Custodians are basically these players, these entities that hold money for you. Coinbase has a very big custody part where if you're a major institution and you don't want to be responsible for keeping your crypto somewhere, deal with all the multi-signature yourself and setting it up and all those parts, well, just give your money to Coinbase for them to handle. And probably it's properly insured, etc., etc., etc. And the SEC is now saying that the rules are changing for that, where less and less firms are able to custody for other parties. And I'm not against that officially because, well, I think the rules need to be clear on who exactly is allowed to hold money for whom. Then again, this is mostly catered towards the major institutions anyway, where they're just blocking major institutions from holding crypto as well, where I'm thinking, well, they probably know how to handle money better than most others. So I'm not so sure why it would have to stop properly regulated bodies from custody in crypto, or anything for that matter. I think you should just make sure they're properly regulated. But that's not what they try to do. They try to stop it altogether, which obviously is not that good, which is why I don't like them. You know, the SEC has not been doing a good job. We all know it. Let's go on a little bit. I have more about the SEC, but I want to kind of filter through it because otherwise we'd be sitting here for a couple more days. The SEC internally, by the way, this is mostly for the US, but it translates to all over the crypto space. They've not been doing too well internally either. John Reed Stark, for an ex-SEC official, has said or has warned cryptocurrency investors to get out now amid increasingly aggressive regulatory actions in the US. Now, I'm going to get you guys a full-on video about this later. A little side note, this is a Binance, what do you call it? Bathrobe. I don't usually wear bathrobes this way, you know, but I was like, you know what? Let's do some today. Actually, let me grab it for you. Let me grab it for you. I actually also have some Binance jacket that I've never worn. All right, never worn it a single time. It's a little side note. Let me see what else I got. I got a lot of this stuff, you know. You can see some boxes here as well. You can see some boxes. A Bybit and a Binance one. There's the Bybit Bear. Let's see. A Binance, I don't even know what Binance coin that they gave to me in Paris, I believe. What am I supposed to do with that? I don't know. No idea. And then there's the Bybit jacket, which is a bit big. What am I supposed to do with all this stuff? I don't know. Would you guys like some crypto merch? I should maybe just give some of this stuff away too, huh? If you guys like that. Because what am I supposed to do with it? I don't know. Make somebody else happy, I suppose. Anyway, so even within the SEC internally, there's a lot of battle, as we've noticed. And I'm going to do a separate video about this later. But I think it's so interesting that even ex-SEC members are seeing that the SEC is not doing a good approach to regulating crypto. They're going the aggressive, crazy approach towards it. Now, why? Because they want to gatekeep the banking system. You know, they want to make sure that these peasants called U.S. citizens cannot make money, it seems. That's honestly the only thing I can describe it for. Make sure that the people stay poor and stay, like, connected to the banking industry, that they have no more options for their own. Because, I mean, if they really wanted to make sure that people couldn't spend money in a dumb way, they'd probably do a lot against, the way I'm thinking about it, right? Against casinos and crazy margins on some products, because they could. If they really wanted people to stop buying crazy things, they'd probably be able to do it some other way. But stopping people from these very, quote-unquote, lucrative opportunities with high risk, I'd say is an essential part of investing with a, I guess a risk to return, but with a potential. Whereas buying, for example, designer clothing or gambling in theory is akin to this higher leveraged markets, where I'm also not against the U.S. going against higher leverage. All right, if there's a certain amount of leverage allowed, certainly. All right, if there's really high leverage that's not allowed, okay, they want to impose some like coolants in place to make sure people can't basically mess themselves up too quickly. That's all right, as long as they have some sort of baseline in place where people can't participate. In the same sense with gambling, right? I don't think gambling is really a good thing. I don't really like gambling at all, and I don't really support it in any way, shape, or form. But I'm thinking as well, people should be allowed to go for it. In the same sense with lotteries, right? You always have these national lotteries. I'm not sure if they have it in every country, but in the Netherlands, at least, where I've been for a lot of my life, they have the national lotteries, a couple of them. I'm not even sure exactly who owns that or if it's a for-profit thing. I kind of sometimes think it is. Anyway, but people should also, be stopped from spending money in a reckless way, because what are the chances of winning, right? But it's that little tiny percentage for a very big reward that make the risk to reward worth it for a lot of people. And why aren't they stopping that, people participating in those? If you guys get my drift, it's like, well, I don't know. It just seems they have some bigger agenda against crypto rather than just against high risk things. But there's one attached to it, which is that I don't get why people cannot invest into IPOs in the US, into like pre-IPO companies in the US. I don't understand that too much. Unsealed docs reveal Stanford director and ex-dean as co-signers of SBF's bond. This was just in. A federal judge ordered Sam Bankman-Fried's bond documents to be unsealed earlier today, and the document revealed the names of bond co-signers, which were initially redacted. These co-signers were revealed to be Stanford Research Director Andreas Papke and former Dean Larry Kramer. Both of them co-signed Bankman-Fried's $250 million bond last year, putting up hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, is that really a bad thing, crazy thing? No. Sam Bankman-Fried's parents put $25 million up, and I mean, he's not going to run, with $250 million bond on his head. And so these players, even though they had to put up a lot of money, yeah, it's not really that uncertain for them, and they probably had enough money to be comfortable in this situation. So I don't think they mind too much, and I'm not too sad for these guys either. Yeah, that's the major news regarding Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried. Actually, onto CNN. They just posted it now, but this news has been around the crypto space for a little while. Charlie Munger still likes big banks and hates crypto. You guys are now seeing the bigger narrative that's there, right? Stay with banks, stay away from crypto. Keep your money in our system where we are making money. And it's not better for you, it's better for us. And even though he's freaking 98 or something like that, he's a career capitalist in the sense of he doesn't care what's going to make the world a lot better. It's all about the company, and I think a lot of these guys have popped up over the last decade. Another one is Mr. Beast, for example. I think he's a lovely guy in a lot of ways, probably, right? But that man, I think, would kill his entire family if the business were to do a lot better. And I think Charlie Munger would as well, not be sitting around crying over a lot of things as long as it makes his business grow. And the same thing goes for giving people opportunities. I don't think this man cares. It's about making the business grow. That's all he cares about. It seems, allegedly, right? And so I'm not also taking that much advice from the man. I'm not sure how much returns they've made over the last couple years either, right? Because you'd say the majority of their returns are with Berkshire Hathaway, and so their major talent, has kind of dropped. It was most important, their talent, like decades ago. Right now, I guess it's not that special because you can kind of follow the money that they put with Berkshire Hathaway, percentage-wise. So, anyway, Celsius creditors, I couldn't see the full article here, but apparently are getting a 3-week notice to look at the Chapter 11 plan outline and basically respond to it. So if you're involved with Celsius, just keep up to date because there might be a couple of deadlines. You might actually not have too much time, but I'm not too fully aware of this situation. I'm just putting it out there. I see a question in the chat. Hey, Dusty, if someone were to ask me if XRP is good to buy in on right now, what would I tell them? Yes, or wait until it goes a little lower in price? My simple answer to that one is, I am not your financial advisor, neither are you his. So you should always say, hey, check it out for yourself, and here's what I think about the situation. If you're telling him to buy this second, you're basically telling him to buy the actual top of the top, right? Which is a little bit of a douchey move. So I definitely wouldn't say that that's the best idea. So from that perspective, waiting a little bit might not be too crazy. But on the contrary, which is again very important, right now, relatively, especially for XRP, you're still at a pretty low point. So even if you were to tell him to get in right now, he'd still get a pretty hefty discount of roughly 90% from the all-time high, 80% or so. So is it really that bad? This is not even the all-time high. Wait a minute. Here's the all-time high. You see? He'd get a roughly 90% discount from the all-time high. So would it be stupid? No, but I'd say consecutively buy. So buy a little bit every couple of days, for example, or something along those lines, and don't fully go in at once because maybe you'll notice that next week the crypto market goes down a lot, and it might be better to kind of split your buys up into 2 different pieces. Might be better. But from my perspective, yes, I think it's best to just buy in. And what I've decided for myself is to literally buy crypto every single day to decrease regret, to stop FOMO from happening, and just buy the same amount every day. Crypto market pumps up, I don't buy more. Crypto market goes down, I might buy more depending on how much we move down, right? And that's just a one-off then. So let's say, for example, we see a 20% crash tomorrow. I'll definitely buy a little bit more that day. But today I'm just buying the exact same amount, which is percentage-wise, not dollar-wise, of the money that comes free to me every single day. And yeah, I think for a lot of people that's the best thing. To make sure you minimize regret. You don't buy everything in one day, but you just buy it like over the span of a week or so. And potentially your average price might be a little bit higher than if you just bought it at once. But I personally say regret is highest when you just buy and the price drops the next day or a couple of days afterwards. It hurts way more than not buying at the absolute lowest point. It hurts more to lose money than miss out on potential money, right? At least that's what I think. I think most people here would rather miss out on a little bit of money than put money in and lose money on that. So from that perspective, I'd rather just go the safe way. But from another perspective, you might not want to wait too long because following most signals, it kind of looks as if the bull market is kind of back in track, guys. I mean, I don't want to shout it out too loud, but it kind of looks like there's no going back from here. And we already called it out on multiple different occasions that it's very hard for people to realize that indeed this bear market and this period of time might literally be over right now. It's happened on so many different occasions in the past that people keep saying, no, we're going to go down more. But at some point, you just cease going down. It just stops, and you actually start moving back up. And even though it could take another couple hundred days for us to reach a new all-time high, it definitely could. I would not be too surprised if it did. Right now, we're still at a very, very good price point, relatively, in my opinion, to purchase. Here's just for fun measure. If you take a look at every single time that Bitcoin hit this major trend line from 2017, how long it took to reach a new high? Roughly here, 161 days. Here, 196 days. Here, 400 days. And right now, we're just into this little debacle. We are roughly, let's say, 100 days in or so, which is still 2 months off of the lowest amount of time we've seen, but still 300 days off of the longest time we've seen us hit a new crazy high. Then again, if we just look at the previous high, not a new high, which then from this low point would have been, let's see here, this is roughly right there, would have been roughly 270 days to basically take out the previous high. That would place us right now at roughly 270 days. Let's see here. September 11th. Yeah, let's just say around the middle of September somewhere, relatively, to then take out the previous tops at roughly like $69,000 or so. Relatively, right? As we've seen between, the times here between March of 2020 and like December or so of 2020, I guess, or something along those lines. Between November, it would kind of be similar then. You guys understand the drift. It's just many people can't fathom that it could go that quickly, but it really could. And so you don't want to be too hesitant to, oh, I'm going to wait for another major dip. Indeed, just looking at the price right here, we might see another fall. It might actually come back down to the trend line. We might actually see another $18,000 buy zone where you might be able to accumulate. Sure, it could be. Is it really worth the risk, though? Is it really worth it, though? Because, I mean, even if we go back to those levels, historically speaking here, just buying at this area specifically, being below the 200-weekly moving average for this ridiculously long is a ridiculously good opportunity to just buy. So from that perspective, I'd rather just buy and see. And to minimize regret, that's also what I always think is best. Everybody, if you're watching this right now, make sure you press that like button. It is greatly appreciated. All right, let's see. Let's put this better into frame. There we go. All right, another question that was asked, and an article was written about it. SEC is cracking down on cryptos. Will XRP soon be history? The very simple answer to all y'all is no. The SEC and NYDFS going after BUSD or something along those lines is what we expected in the XRP community. John Dean and a lot of others have already written out. You know, it's going to happen. More and more crypto companies are going to get sued. Just wet your ass already for it because it's going to happen. Like, it's just factual. And a lot of parties did not want to listen. They did not want to open their eyes to see this, but we all knew it was gonna. So are we surprised? No. And is this all of a sudden going to be negative for XRP? I'd say the opposite. We've been in a similar situation for XRP for so long. I'd say it's actually positive. The fact that right now people can't keep ignoring it anymore. They have to pay attention. They have to, because the SEC is taking down the entire lot. That's honestly what's happening. The SEC will not stop after BUSD. They're going to keep continuing on, and it's going to happen. So is this bad for XRP? No, it's very positive. Probably the XBK is going to end up cutting itself off in like a couple months, right? I still, to this day, hope that 31st of March is going to be the end. You guys are saying check out Twitter, all right? Let me check it out right here. You said check it out. Okay. Ooh, interesting. So he said, check out Twitter. And what I found is U.S. House Judiciary subpoena CEOs of Apple, Amazon, Meta, Google, and Microsoft for collusion with government to suppress free speech. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole today. All right? Please don't make me do this. Please, guys. I don't want to talk about this on YouTube. All right? Let's not do that today. Let's please not go down that rabbit hole. What you guys want to get my channel taken down? you guys want to do that to me? No. We ain't doing that today. Let's close that off real quick and go into more fun news, lighthearted. A lot more lighthearted. Because we all know let's not talk about what's happening, all right? Let's keep that in the background. Let's keep all the conspiracy, all right, YouTube? You understand? I'm not going into this one. Keep it to yourselves, all right? I don't want to be involved. I know it right here, but let's not speak it out. That stuff is not smart, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't think YouTube is going to be your best friend when you start talking about that, so might not be good. Anyway, what we're noticing is two main things, and I've noticed this quite severely. Two things. Bitcoin NFTs are becoming a really big thing. And second of all, man, the amount of celebrity, famous people, interesting people, whatever, regardless, pick a word, that are starting to get into this space is peculiar. And obviously is not as hype as when the whole NFT craze was here, when people were just scamming left and right. But I've really started to notice more and more of these parties, especially with this AI wave right now, start to look into it. And one of those guys here, for example, is Jordan Peterson, asking for help to be onboarded on Bitcoin's Lightning Network. And it's been peculiar to watch. I'm not a really big fan of Lightning Network thus far, but it's good to see people just get into the bubble a little bit. And I want as many people to understand about this technology. And I think through famous individuals, a lot more of the youth will learn about this as well, which I think is nice. Dusty, are you on Rumble? No. Should I be? I'm not sure. Should you dual stream or something? What is wisdom with that? Because in theory, you can just stream to both, right? But I don't think a place like Rumble is going to give you new viewers. It just might be a smart thing to do if your YouTube gets taken down or something. But I'd say I just go to Rumble or someplace if eventually they take down my YouTube channel. But I don't think I'm that controversial, as I don't post any crazy stuff, right? So I'm not sure. I don't even swear ever. So I think YouTube and I are friends now. But if it ever happens, then yes, I'll stream on some other platform. But you'll know from my Twitter, and I don't think they're going to ever take down my Twitter. Otherwise, we always have the Telegram as well. A link for that will always be in the description. If I'm ever gone, by the way, guys, if there's two things I should always mention. If my YouTube ever gets taken down, it wasn't me. All right. And I didn't do anything that's not supposed to be done. It's something at YouTube trying to take me down. Fact. All right. I've never once posted something that I was like, ooh, this might be crossing the line. No, not once. All right. Because I'm always very careful in making sure these guys are pleased. So if something happens, they targeted me and they got me. Or it's some hacker guy taking me down. All right. So please head over to Twitter then if you don't see me posting for like a week and kind of ask what's up, because I've probably been taken out. And you guys can sometimes help by tweeting out as well. Same thing goes for Twitter. If I'm off of there, they've taken me down. But with Elon Musk, I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. But just a little side note, right? I've also seen a question, not today. I think it was in the comments section today, and I saw a thread about it. But it was a good question. Let's say we're in the next bull run. What exactly should you be buying? Let me tell you guys this. Anybody that's in my chat box right now that's not a millionaire already, which probably a couple of people that are watching aren't, and your goal is not to become one, fine. But if your goal is to, then make sure you tune into every freaking helpful video that I make. The news ones, if you want to, you can skip, because it's news, right? But if I ever make a video about I'm buying this coin, or here's my new strategy, or this might be popping off next bull run, or these are my best coins for the next blah, 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 watch those videos. Because I'm telling you, if somebody taught me this 5 years ago or so, because I learned pretty quickly, I'd say, but still, somebody taught me this a little bit earlier, the amount of money that I have today is at least 10 times as high, I'd say. And I'd say I'm still doing pretty damn good. Point being, XRP, just a little side note, has so much potential and people are sleeping on it. But there's so much more, though. I've made videos time and time again about coins you should look into. A lot of them are high caps, right? But as the bull market gets closer, we're going to start covering more and more juicy opportunities. One of them is buying coins before they launch. It's one of the easiest ways to make crazy amounts of money. It, however, takes a little bit of money already. If you're starting out with $100, $200 or so, this is a little bit harder. Usually, I'd say the minimum threshold is like a bankroll of $10,000, investable money that is, that you're able to lose for new coins. Because sometimes you need to also buy some launchpad tokens, etc., and you need to try multiple times. So $10,000 is like a minimum, I'd say. But the more money you have, the easier this becomes. Because money makes money. It's a fact. Get over it. People saying, oh, yeah, but he has money or something like this. Yeah, duh, money makes money. Second thing is, I'd say this is really dependent on where you are in the world, but a connection game. The more people you know in crypto, the more money that you'll make. It's almost guaranteed. If you're able to, go to these places where you can meet up with other crypto people and connect. If you're not doing anything in crypto, no worries, but connect with people who are, and you might get yourself an opportunity. If you, for example, are just able to get into some project as some sort of advisor, because you know a lot of stuff. If you don't know stuff, the story ends here. I'm assuming that you know how to do stuff and you really want to become, to get to a better place. You know how to become an advisor. If you don't know how to become one, it's not that hard, but you need to know things about crypto. Do your research. You'd be surprised at how many things you can be useful for, which is also why it's not really a big thing anymore, but I opened up for a little while justbcjobs@gmail.com, I believe, where you guys could send emails with some sort of resume and whatnot for crypto-related jobs. But then my friend opened some crypto job website, etc., and I was like, But what I've noticed is there are so ridiculously many opportunities, even that I see around me. For example, if you're a developer and you're not making at least a couple $100,000 a year, you're not doing it well, right? There's just something wrong right there. Just focus on your skills and make it better, because these developers, some of them are earning an easy $60,000 a month. Right, easy. And probably a lot of them are developing projects making even more off the tokens, etc. Anyway, that's one part. But just knowing people, as I said, you can actually get into a lot more sales by knowing people. You can get a lot better positions. I have a second channel for this, but your ability, I'd say, to capitalize on new environments also depends on how many people you know. For example, I've been thinking about it for a couple days right here, but let's say right now is the very big drift, or the very big push for AI cryptocurrencies, right? And I've been thinking about what type of AI cryptocurrency or anything of that nature to start. But still, if you want to start one, you have to know the people to be able to build this crypto, or have the skills to figure out where to find and how to trust and how to set things up. You need some sort of basic skill set. And that's an important thing too. Most of the time you can learn that from people, though. As right now, for example, if you look through my phone, I think I have at least 100 crypto VCs in my phone. And the same thing for all the YouTubers. We have a couple of different crypto content creator groups, etc. So if you ever need promotion in that sense, right? Or you need some sort of information about how to do something, you can always just text another YouTuber, which is sometimes also very easy. I have another channel, indeed. It's called The Business Realm, or Dusty Finance. I think it has two names. Let me see if I can find it real quick. How do I find the channel? I think it's called Dusty Finance. Here we go. Might want to check it out. I just posted one video, which was 7 ways to get rich with AI, which I also recommend you guys to check out. AI is so freaking useful. It's honestly being slept on, and I think the next wave of crypto mass gainers are going to be AI-related cryptos. But be careful, because a lot of them are going to be scams and just quick money grabs, which is why I've been very cautious covering them on the channel. I've also not been buying too many, But I've seen a lot of YouTubers ask around and ask, what's the next big AI thing? What's the next big AI thing? Because many, many people are onto that right now. It's something that's being looked into so much. The only problem is, and the reason I said be careful, right, is because it's trendy because of the major AI wave. But like Mep right here says, AI-related crypto are totally useless. AI doesn't need a coin to work, is the truth. So it should be a coin based upon some sort of gate-kept AI or something like this. Or it's just a utilization of OpenAI's API, that's being gate-kept by a token, or that works in some sort of token ecosystem, or something of that nature. Because I could think of a lot of ways in which it could work, but it's not by definition necessary. You're right. Unless they've designed their own AI, which is not the case most of the time. So you're right. Most of them are scams. Wow. Big news flash. Most crypto projects that are being shilled to you on crypto news websites or crypto forums or whatnot are freaking garbage. News flash, right? News flash. Good afternoon from Central Texas, 1526 hours. Good afternoon, History Bear. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. Nice to see you around. Yeah, and like I said, guys, what I'm going to do every single day is I'm going to think of the best time. But I'm going to do a video or live stream every single day at the exact same time, doing two things. One, covering what's going on with the crypto market, with my trades and what we're thinking in terms of where it's going to go. And second of all the most important crypto news of the day. And then throughout the day, I might also just post some other updates like, can XRP make you a millionaire? People ask me that question like at least 5 times a day, I think. So I'll definitely get another video about that out soon. And the same thing goes for, can any coin make you a millionaire? I think by far that's the most requested topic that I see. And the answer is always so simple. Of course it can, but it depends on so many factors. How much money do you have? What do you think the prize will go to? And if you're asking me, just like, oh, you decide. Well, then again, it depends on how much money you have. Then they ask me, how much money do you need to have? And I say, well, that depends on how long the time frame is. And he says, how long do you think it's going to take? It's like, there's 3 factors. How much money you got, how high will the prize go, and how long can it take? If we take away the how long can it take, it's just how much money you got and what will the price go to. And if both of those are up to me, then it's like, okay, I just need to think of a certain price with a certain amount of tokens. So just a certain price, I guess, at that point. And that's like, well, infinity. So you'd basically need 1 XRP or 0.1 to become a millionaire. Maybe if you take another span of like 55 years. If we're being more reasonable, though, and we're looking at, a couple years, I wouldn't be too surprised if XP hit $100 pretty quickly. I wouldn't be surprised even. I wouldn't be like, oh, wow, that's absolutely nuts. Where people are often laughing at my face saying, oh, $100, you sure? I wouldn't even be surprised if it went to $100. Again, call me delusional, call me an idiot, sure. But again, I think the same about Bitcoin. When Bitcoin was at $1,000, I really wasn't thinking too much about 69,000, etc. Because I thought, oh, that's way too far. I know. But now that I think back, it's like, well, I wouldn't be so surprised if Bitcoin hit $1 million, and going from 1,000 to 1 million. It's a pretty long stretch as well, right? So for XRP to go from 40 cents or its all-time high at, let's say, $3.50 to $100, it's like 30x. It's not that crazy. It's not that wild. In a similar sense, Ethereum was at like 1,400 or 1,200 bucks when XRP hit its all-time high as well. So for Ethereum, it will be the all-time high times 30. So let's just say the all-time high was $1,400. Let's just say 3 times is 5,000, right? Let's just say that for ease. That would mean Ethereum has to go to $50,000 to be akin to XRP going to $100,000. I mean, $50,000 for Ethereum is very far, sure. But I don't think people would be too surprised if somebody ever says ETH will go to 50K. I don't think so. In a similar sense with Bitcoin to 100K. It's not, or to 1 million. It's not that far-fetched. It's not that crazy. The time frame? Yeah, that's the iffy part. It could certainly take another decade. It could. But I won't be surprised when it happens. And I'll certainly be here watching it all unfold because I am personally convinced it's going to. And even though people laugh, let them laugh, right? Hope Soul says, some informed people said SEC could win against Ripple. Sure, they can. It's the truth. Anybody saying that a lawsuit is by certainty won is lying to you because it's not. And there are multiple reasons as to why the SEC could win. which is why I have not got 100% of my portfolio in XRP. If the probability of Ripple winning was 100%, I would not have a single other cryptocurrency right now because XRP would be the best opportunity by far. The risk to reward would be just absolutely out of this world. I would take out so many loans to buy XRP because that would just be absolutely wild. I'd literally pull an FTX on us and go absolutely wild, borrowing money from myself that I didn't know I could have access to buy more XRP. But the thing is, you don't. Since there's a chance they'll lose, albeit small, there's a chance. Yeah, you have to diversify and think about it in a smart manner. Because Ripple is used all over the world and it will survive. But it will definitely take a big hit if. And it's just a realistic thing to keep in the back of your mind. There's always the case of what if it loses. All right? There is. Just be honest with yourself. And the same thing goes for any lawsuit, right? There's always a small chance that they'll lose, even though it looks also certain. And in this case here, it depends on our definition of loss. If Ripple has to pay a fine, is that a loss? Does the judge understand crypto to the fullest? Maybe, maybe not. Is the security definition skewed by what other lawsuits have now put up forward, potentially? Because if you think about it, the fact that BUSD cannot be minted anymore because of unregistered security type of debacles, how can a stablecoin be a security? It's impossible. It doesn't make sense. Yet, it's kind of what's being put up forward. I mean, obviously, they had to halt the minting of it now, and it's not as if the conclusion is there from a judge that it's a security, but the fact that they're looking into BUSD for being a security is putting out there that you have to understand to be a little bit cautious that they could lose. Sure. Dusty, what about Corium? I just got an email a couple times about a Corium launch event. I didn't think it was real, but it might be so. Yeah, but it's pretty far away. You guys might know I'm based in Dubai, and this event is in Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a little bit far away. Let me see Corium. I think, because I've not really heard too much about Corium, except for some cool guys that I met over in London. Some of those guys were telling me about Corium, and it was interesting. I did look into it a little bit. Yeah, exclusive VIP event invite to Core Nova 2023 in LA. March 24th. Yeah, but to go to LA just for one little event for a couple hours, I don't know about that one, guys. It's a little bit of a long flight. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Yeah, if I was a really big core holder, obviously I'd go, but yeah, interesting. What do you think about the token? Just guys, put your favorite token in the chat box real quick. Let's see what you guys think, or just not some like top 51, just a crazier altcoin that you've thought about. Let me just see here. I'm going to see what you guys are saying. Just name an altcoin like that's further away in the rankings. I'm going to give you guys my honest truth if I know them. Thoughts on Coty? Cool. I'm looking into them a lot. The team, everything around it, I'm looking into. So I'll get you guys an update on that within a couple weeks even, because I've been doing a lot of research. So again, about Corium, I've done a little bit of research, but not enough to give you a full honest opinion. I might do that though in the next, let's say 30 days as well, because I might even go to that event. Who knows? So if I will, then I'm going to have to give you all the info. But just know that the people who are informing me about it knew a lot about it, and they really were saying, man, do your research. It's worth it. And I do trust them because they look pretty knowledgeable. Guys I met in London. How do you feel about XRP-related coins? No. XRP-related coins, most of them I don't like. There's not one that I'm really a big fan of, except for, I guess, Corium, which is akin, right? Dollar in trouble, XRP readying around the world. Gangsters jokes, they stalling. Fair. Yes, an airdrop next month. All right, I assume for Corium. Are you bullish on Telcoin? I don't really hold much Telcoin. I have not bought Telcoin in a very long amount of time, and I'm honestly not even sure anymore what they do because it's been so long since I ever looked into them. So am I still currently holding Telcoin? I wouldn't be able to tell you even for certain because I've not heard anything about Telcoin. Oh, wow, it's actually doing really well. Oh, I guess most coins are, right? Telcoin platform. Telcoin is user-owned, decentralized finance platform powered by active Telcoin users, mobile network operators, and mobile financial service providers. So I guess it's mostly to do with telephones, huh? Based in Singapore. Oh, okay, about telecom. Okay, interesting. I need to kind of look that up a little bit more then. Sounds pretty promising, but there's a lot of these phone-related cryptocurrencies, Electronium, the Pi, and whatnot. This one is pretty far into everything because, I sometimes mess up my names as well. Like Tel, it really just looks like the Telegram, the TON, T-O-I, the Telegram token, because of the way, Telegram Tel. But no, so I'm not so sure if I actually hold this at all. But the idea for this type of crypto is always pretty good. So I'm not against these type of cryptos at all. I think Pi and whatnot are worse because they are not properly listed, right? I saw you speak on Volt Ini. How much should I put in? That is always a difficult question, my brother. If you're asking me how much should I put into one of the coins that I put in, let me just rephrase it to you like this. I always think it's a smart idea to put into these newer cryptocurrencies that I'm talking about on the channel, right? To put 1/100th of a bankroll. Because let's hypothetically say, but that depends on how much money you have. But let's say I show you guys 100 projects. 95 might fail, but 5 will succeed and give you like 100x or whatnot. That's going to, get you the return that you need in a certain sense. So be able to invest in more than a couple different cryptocurrencies because a lot of them might fail if they're newer. So how much should you put? Take a look for yourself what you can lose and whatever. But I personally say, don't go too crazy on it. Corium airdrop for core, solo, and XRP holders. Okay, that's very cool. Thoughts on Cody we just said. Let's see, we missed one. XRP, Algo, both of them are awesome. I hold very good chunks. Algorand is one of the biggest holdings in my portfolio, and XRP is my biggest hold. APL and GSX, not heard anything about them in a very long time. I still hold so much GSX, it kind of makes me nauseous. APL, I don't know if I hold any, maybe like a couple $1,000, maybe $10,000 worth or so, but have not touched that in so long. I have not seen an update from them in a while. I think they just sent me an email like 2 days ago or so with like an update of GSX, or maybe it's just maybe it was actually today even. Might actually be today with an email of something, but I didn't even read it. I think it might have been yesterday. Yeah. TAP, XTP, yeah, I just bought it once, and I should have bought the dip, but I didn't, and now it's up like 40% already. It's good. I talked to the guys, I called them up, and they were really nice people. Good project, good regulatory status and everything. Could very well do really well. Yeah. So I bought a little bit dumb, but I bought it at like 0.016, I think. So I'm actually potentially a little bit down even on my money. Not 100% sure. I can check that later for you guys. But I bought a couple of days ago and I put it over on Twitter. I think it's 0.016. And Martini guy was buying a couple $1 million, I think, or like $1 million or whatever. I guess a couple million you can't because the volume is low. But let's say $1 million or so at the bottom. He did really well. I should have done that because I knew it was going to rebound, but I just didn't notice. Good project. Yeah. EOS is pretty garbage. Can't make more words out of that. EOS is pretty garbage. They probably are pretty good with developments and whatnot, but whenever I go to a conference and I see them, I'm like, whoa, what are you guys actually up to? I didn't know you were still alive. I lost so many Bitcoin that I swapped to EOS like 5 years ago or so, maybe 4 years ago, and I can't say that was a good idea. So, yeah, that's garbage on my end. UFO, what? You talking about the balloons? Casper. Oh, so the only real alpha, the only real intel I got is whenever people talk about this Casper XRP QNT type of info sheet. Let me see if I can find it real quick. There's like this one right here that people very often share. This is the only big information that I have on like Casper. This right here. And that's also as far as I come with my knowledge regarding it. There have been many people who try to convince me to look further into it, but I just never got further than this little infographic. And I'm sure you guys are all aware of the infographic because it's been trending for a long time. It's gone around the community for a very long while. But I like a lot of these graphics, man. This is my little favorite list of cryptos as well. XRP, XLM, XDC, Algorand, and IOTA. A lot of juicy cryptos in there. I've actually decided to lower my XLM purchases. I've not bought XLM in like a month or two. And I've upped my QNT purchases, which is not in this little list. But that's just a side note. I've stopped buying XLM altogether as there's not many cool advancements anymore recently. And so, yeah, I'm not so sure why I should be buying it. The only thing is they'll probably do really well if XRP settles and is out of this lawsuit, but I'd still rather just buy XRP, so why XLM, right? Dusty Inu, I don't know if that exists. I assume it's just a joke on the name. Harmony 1, yeah, beautiful. Again, not really seen too much about it in the recent past here. A little info. It's actually up 11% today. Blockchain platform, just a platform designed to facilitate the creation and use of dApps. The network aims to innovate the way decentralized applications work by focusing on random state sharding, so scalability, which also allows creating blocks in seconds. According to the project website, Harmony is expected to introduce cross-shard contracts, which is actually interesting, and cross-chain infrastructure by the end of 2021. So it's not been updated for a little while. The page right here might be something I want to look into. But yeah, one is pretty good. Harmony is pretty good. I hold a good chunk. Percentage-wise, not that much of my portfolio, but I do hold, and I'm not adding actively, but it stays in my portfolio. It's not being sold for anything. So that's good. ERSDL, I'm not sure that's a real thing. Unfederal Reserve. I've never heard of this before. That's really funny. So no, I've never seen that before. Jarvis, that sounds like a scam type of thing. Is that a real thing? I'm not looking into that. No, that sounds a little bit too scammy for my taste. Maybe it's real, but I don't know. VVS and Tonic. Again, whenever I see a lot of these things are so uncommon. Oh, VVS Finance. 223. Okay, this one is actually pretty high up. Okay, a lot of valuable exchanges. Cross-chain platform for DeFi. Okay, so DeFi platform. I'm not sure what's interesting about it, but we'd have to look further into it. Pretty big market cap, though, so this is a pretty serious project. Okay. I'd have to look further into it. The other one is Tonic, you said? Tectonic. Oh, this one is a shitcoin as of this point. Could be, but I'd have to research it all the way. Kronos. Okay. Don't know anything about this. Takes too much time to research. Can't say. Modeled after compounded, okay, so DeFi, aims to provide seamless money market functionalities that address several cases for its users based upon Kronos? That's peculiar. Not sure why they would choose that, but I guess it has their own reasoning. Very small, though. This is one of those where, again, you don't want to buy too much. Then if, again, not a financial advisor, my own thoughts, though. But I don't hold any of this. I'm seeing it for the first time. Gear. That looks pretty garbage. That looks like some hot garbage right there. No, not my thing. This one I wouldn't buy. GRT, pretty good. You know, negative side is it's more institutionally focused. Same thing for ICP and a lot of these projects. Longevity it will stay around. It might go down a little bit with time, might go up a little bit with time, but I think the general direction for the graph is upwards. I do believe they're undervalued, though, in a similar sense as ICP, Internet Computer. I think both of those are a little bit undervalued. And that's all I have to say about that. They're pretty good. I wanted to say almost not so unique, but they are. But in a similar sense, Algorand is pretty unique, but then again, it's also kind of not. It's like they're all platformers, which is the most important part about this. Now, Graph is a little bit more difficult, actually. You can see is an indexing protocol for querying data for networks like Ethereum and IPFS, powering many applications in both DeFi and the broader Web2 ecosystem. Anyone can build and publish open APIs called subgraphs. The applications can query using GraphQL to retrieve blockchain data. I cannot talk for some reason. There is a hosted service in production that makes it easy for developers to get started building on the graph. And the thing is, this kind of falls into my category with Chainlink, which are fundamental builders. It's just juicy to have, but it's going to be underappreciated for potentially forever, as people don't understand the difference between very useful cryptocurrencies and some that are just hot garbage or hype. On the contrary, it depends a little bit on how much the token is actually being used in the entire ecosystem and whether or not it's that useful. But about Graph, I don't actually know too much about what they use the token for. Drink some water. Do you know LCX? Yeah, I've seen it come by, but I don't hold it, I think. Let's see. Okay, you guys have a lot of things. Guys, if you're watching the stream still, make sure you press that like button real quick. Let's get to 200 likes. We've had 1,500 people stop by the stream in the last hour. Let's just quickly get to 200 likes and then we move on. Just, if you're watching this right now, you want to support and help out, just make sure you press that button. And also, regarding this whole airdrop regarding XRP holders, the thing is, guys, XRP holders seem to kind of get screwed with every airdrop that happens, right? We've seen it with the whole Solargenic, the whole Flare thing. XRP holders are getting screwed left and right. What makes you think it's going to be different this time? It seems like people will always get screwed on the XP ledger. It really seems as if XRP people have been the most unlucky breed of people. Every single time there's something good happening, it's just somebody in the space seems to ruin it for XRP holders. Airdrop, regulatory-wise, yeah, it's unfortunate. It's really funny sometimes. Obviously not for my balance, not for my money, but it's sometimes interesting to look at. Let's see. Polkadot, yeah, I buy Polkadot almost every single day. Amazing in every way, shape, or form. Can't really say anything negative about Polkadot. Can't actually say anything negative about Polkadot. Dusty, look at gens on Cardano. Might be a new thing. I'd have to look into it a little bit more, right? If you're talking specifically. Or are you talking about this? Is it a game? 4,000. Oh, that's a rough one. DeFi 1, no, it's Kusama. Okay, so it's Polkadot ecosystem. Velo. I've seen this one. I've seen this come by. Let's see. Velo Labs is building a unique federated credit network, a credit exchange network. Network is powered by Velo Protocol, which is a blockchain financial protocol enabling digital credit issuance and borderless asset transfers for businesses using a smart contract system. Okay, not bad per definition. Project's core mission is to enable partners to safely and securely transfer value between each other in a timely and transparent way. To do this, the Velo Protocol enables its partners to use digital credits via smart contract layer using the Stellar Consensus Protocol to process and settle transactions. Interesting that they chose that. Within its ecosystem, the Velo Protocol enables multiple businesses that use cases that are all based on its core function, issuing collateral-backed digital credits, which corresponds to any fiat currency that can be issued for frictionless value transfer. It's not bad. That doesn't seem too stupid, actually. Digital credit issuance. I kind of, because we're getting a very small story, right? It kind of depends on how this actually works in the real world. Because in theory, it sounds pretty good, but I'm wondering if it can just be done through any other digital currency for that matter. Because it enables its partners to issue digital credits. And they use another protocol for their transactions. So they're able to issue collateral-backed digital credits, which correspond to any fiat currency that can be used for frictionless value transfer. So it doesn't really sound that unique. It kind of sounds bothersome to use them, but the idea is pretty good. Let's see. Proton XPR. I've seen so many people talk about this. I've never taken the time to look into it. I thought for the first 100 times that I saw it, I thought people just misspelled XRP until I noticed it's his own crypto. So yeah, it's another San Francisco-based crypto like XRP. Fun fact. It's on a lot of exchanges as well, so it's not, obscure and garbage and whatnot. I only took like a minute or so to look through it last time. Launched in San Francisco, Proton is a new public blockchain and smart contract platform designed for both consumer applications and peer-to-peer payments. Proton aims to provide a secure, verified identity account, which is integrated into financial settlement layer that allows users to directly link his identity with fiat accounts, pool funds, and buy crypto. It's a middleman for financial services. It's not bad. But the thing is, this is like a cryptocurrency that relies almost for every single part just on the traditional financial system. And the question is, what exactly do they provide that you need cryptocurrency for? Is it because they allow you to buy crypto? Or because you're able to use DApps? But then if you're able to use DApps, through what connection? How exactly does it work? Because in this case, I'm seeing here, okay, it's ERC compatible. Okay. Probably is it a token, actually? On Ethereum, it probably is going to be. But then the question is exactly, why would you choose them? Because there doesn't really seem to be any thing that makes it as to why you'd need a cryptocurrency for some of this stuff. Maybe it's for the security of things, though, right? Like, no, because I'm thinking here as well. Sharing private keys directly with merchants by creating a permissionless layer that exists. Okay, I guess that part could be interesting and why you need cryptocurrencies. The user maintains the private key in confidence while permitting institutions who wish to authenticate the user to check with trusted institutions via public keys. The verification from trusted institutions will confirm the user's identity without revealing the user's associated private key. So it's a cool concept. I just wonder if crypto is necessary. But it's a cool concept, so don't get me twisted. So is it bad? Would I own this? I think if I had bought it, I'd for sure keep it because the idea is pretty cool. The only problem is I don't know too much about how exactly this moves into place and for which parts they need cryptocurrency and which part. Because, I mean, their mission is pretty straightforward here. And for this, it needs to be blockchain type of tech, right? There's no other way to go about it. But the question is that something that people really want? Or is it better to just do this like off-chain, so to speak? But now the more that I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking, well, with the concept that they've created, if the demand is there, which I don't know if there will be, but this system is pretty interesting, actually, because they keep it private until confirmation, and they can confirm the user's identity without actually revealing the private key, so it's like a little double layer. It's pretty cool. It's actually pretty, I'm kind of like re-talking myself, but it's pretty cool, actually. Because CSC, we're going to abbreviate it. I don't want to say it. No, I'm not into anything casino-y like, so please don't talk to me about that. And most stuff on the XP Ledger I'm not a big fan of. I see Cadena. Somebody's writing Cadena. Yeah, the thing is, Cadena was a really hyped-up crypto for a while, but I've not seen many updates on it recently. I've not seen many people say, oh, this is what's happening, that's what's happening. The idea has been and still will remain okay. But it's interesting to me how they're trying to revamp the whole proof of work narrative. We talked about this in depth before. I made a whole video about Cadena, I think, a while back. But I'm still not sure if the people are ready for this. You know, the guys that are working on this are really well skilled and they know what they've been building. But the fact that it's still in the 150th spot or so, even though they have so many resources and they've been doing so well in the previous bull run, kind of makes me think maybe they don't have the capacity to really make it to like top 10, top 20, top 25. But that doesn't mean they won't just keep doing well. Because I think Cadena has most resources to just continue on. And in the next bull run, because of what they did last bull run, I think it might be another banger, actually. But will it really be top 20 cryptocurrency? That I do not know. But I think it could potentially get back to the top 50 at least. I wouldn't be too surprised if that were to happen. Christian Bedkowski with the £2 saying Proton XPR. What do you think, please? We just went over it already. Hopefully that was sufficient to you. Thoughts on Zilliqa? I hold Zilliqa. I've not bought Zilliqa in like a while. I think maybe like a couple weeks already. Maybe like a month or two, actually. But I still hold Zilliqa. Good chunk as well. Thoughts on Veracity? I need to do my research. They contacted me a while ago. I don't know. I don't know what it does. I don't know anything about it. I've seen them many, many times. But I just want to talk to the team before I talk to you guys about it. That's about it. They're a little bit difficult to understand as far as I took. So I wanted to talk to them, get some clarifications, get their thoughts, kind of see from their perspective. Because, man, if you see the amount of times VRA has been requested, it's similar to the XPR thing. People have been talking to me a lot about it. So I want to see with them exactly what their goals are and how it all works. But I've seen a lot of good things. People speak a lot of positive stuff about them. So potentially you'll see a video about them soon as well, if I do my research and conclude that it's pretty juicy. But yeah, again, I've seen a lot about them, and they're legit in most ways. They do a lot. They do a lot. It's everywhere. I see it in the comment section all the time. Thank you, Dusty. Let us know if you buy the crypto. Sure. Where'd you get the jacket? They sent it to me. As a Christmas thing. There has not been a market crash yet. I don't think so. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Dusty, it's Genius Yield on Cardano. Symbol is gens. Okay. Genius Yield. Anything that's yield related is kind of sketchy in the sense that it takes so much research to be able to tell if it's good or not. Hopefully you guys understand this, but if somebody asks, is this or that protocol good? and they talk about some sort of DeFi or yield type of platform, the question becomes 3 times as difficult because straight off the bat, you're not going to read much into why they're unique. You're just going to read, oh, it's a, why am I half dying here? It's just a yield related type of, how did they get the yield? Is it going to be under regulatory scrutiny soon? Is it going to be on some chain that's like almost deserted or whatnot? Has it been done in a safe manner? Do I want to connect myself to this? All those questions are a lot more prominent with yield/DeFi apps rather than just platformers or payment type of cryptos and whatnot, or utility cryptos like identity and whatnot, or gaming cryptos as well. Yield and DeFi is just so much more difficult. So whenever you guys ask me about it, I need to research more. I can't just look at it quickly and see whether or not the idea is nice. With Veracity, I know because you guys have talked to me like years about it. Yearn Finance is the best DeFi platform. Yearn Finance has been proven gold. It's juicy, right? It's been juicy for a long time. I know it. There's many of those. XPR, again, it's easier to cover. And there's many of the ones that you guys just said. They're easier. But if it's purely based upon yield and whatnot, it's very difficult. Sitting Dingo said, do you believe USA on a hard line to recession or most likely depression? I don't think a depression at all. I actually think they might be able to survive. I might actually play devil's advocate and say here that we might not even go into a crazy recession. They might be able to save themselves. Like Michael Burry and a lot of those guys are saying, oh, be prepared, be prepared. I think that we might actually be fine. I'm prepared for a major recession, but more and more signs are showcasing that it might not be around in the next couple of months here. It might actually take another couple of years before we do end up there. Why am I saying that? Mostly based upon the idea that the harsh landing that was first anticipated is all of a sudden already not so hard. So we're expecting a soft landing. But with the way in which they're combating inflation, which is going pretty well, and the moderation of interest rate, it's like they're actually doing a lot better than many anticipated. So even though they're not being able to combat inflation as well as they thought, it's still going well. So the only thing that's kind of lacking in every department is the fact that jobs are not adjusting as we expected, which obviously is not too amazing. And the fact that things are just too expensive for the people to handle, which obviously is also a lacking indicator. But does that mean a full-on recession will hit? We'll have to see. I'm prepared for it, but we'll have to see. This guy is a tool. Thank you. Just LCX is actually the first token fully regulated in Europe. Partnerships with QNT and Polygomatic. It's actually pumped due to approbation in the EU. I did not even know that. I did not even know that. Liechtenstein crypto assets. Oh, but okay, I see. Yeah, so I've seen this come by many different occasions before, because indeed it's also an exchange, right? So it's just like a lot of, is it like similar to BNB? I'd say so. I'd say it's just another platformer akin to BNB. It gets you reduction of trading fees and whatnot. Yeah, so this is not by definition. It's just in my bracket of a lot of those cryptocurrencies that are exchange-related tokens. Is there a way to get this jacket too? I guess I can do a giveaway of one if you guys really want it. I didn't know this was a thing that people wanted. It's been in my collection for months, and I've never worn it once. I just wore it for the stream. I'm thinking now all the Bybit stuff I have so much Bybit stuff you guys would be surprised. And it simply goes for Binance. I have a lot of stupid stuff as well. It's actually really interesting. Yeah. I'm looking around now. I have so many Bybit pieces. Like the water jugs and stuff, and slippers even. Jackets, caps, shirts. I have an OKX shirt, I see. That one is pretty neat. A hat from OKX McLaren. Yo. I'm in the building. Hey, Wasim. What's up? Any prediction on Bitcoin? What's next? We talked about it. The wave for Bitcoin right now seems to be upwards. It just seems to be upwards. I don't have much else to tell you. All right? If you're not with the program, you're not with the program, but it seems to be upwards. The trajectory for Bitcoin seems to be upwards and upwards and upwards and upwards. I don't know what else to tell you. Like most signs have showcased now that the dip is in. And even though we can see another correction, it would not be too crazy if in the next couple of months we actually fall back to 19,000 or so. This is just the start, but I think the bullish narrative is here to stay at least. Yeah. So what's happening next? That's a good question. All we know is I'm buying a freaking crazy amount of crazy altcoins. Because today is, again, another day where Bitcoin is taking back the dominance by going up like 10% or so. And it's usually reflected back into altcoins rather quickly. And I don't think it's going to take too long before Bitcoin just overtakes everything we've seen in the recent past here. Right now, there's one big hurdle, which is the 200 weekly moving average at $25,000. But that's roughly it. Once we're past that, it's going to be bullish season for another couple $1,000s. Instant push to $30,000 is my own expectation. So stay tuned for that is the biggest thing to say here. The moment that we break 25,000, be prepared for a rush towards 30,000 bucks. You know, they can keep attacking it, and I think in due course they will try, but it will rebound pretty quickly after the FUD has faded. It's major campaigns to keep you away from crypto, to make you afraid. You know what keeps on happening, guys? What they keep doing is they make you scared. They get some announcement going like, oh, crypto's going to die out. Then they get some regulation, and it actually dies out for a bit. People get scared. And then people are like, wait a minute. And they just start buying and going nuts again because, well, that's usually how these things go. People need cryptocurrencies for so many different reasons. And they always make it seem as if it's just one big scam, one big shabam. But there's so much more to it. Point being, yeah, just stick with the process. $25,000 is one little stop, but it's going to go pretty quickly once we breach that. And it's not going to take too long, I think. So, yeah, just stick with the program. Stay around. That's the most important thing to understand, I'd say. Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. Guys, that was it for this stream for today. Let's end that on a positive note of just, man, things are going to keep going up. If we just look at it from a couple 100-day perspective, the probability of us not pumping is so low that it's just worth it to buy like a madman right now. I'm buying like a madman, and that's it. We're going to have this conversation in a couple months again. I know it because I keep having this. One of these charts has it in there even. Not this one. Let's quickly check for fun which of the charts it will be. In one of these, there is there's tweet stuck just for fun measure, right? Here's, for example, a chart where you can kind of see, right? We hear on the 21st and 22nd of November, the lowest point for Bitcoin. We're saying I'm never giving up on crypto, and Bitcoin seems extremely cheap right now. The thing is, people on those days, as you can see from sell pressure, were giving up, right? People were giving up on exactly those days where Bitcoin's price was the exact lowest. And in hindsight now, we can see and think, well, if only we just bought. But at that point, it looked as if it was going to go lower and lower and lower. At some point, though, it turns back around. And if you just bought and continuously bought and you bought that bottom, right now you'd be up 55% as of this point in already 90 days. But then we look back at some of those different charts and you look and think, oh, wait a minute. Indeed, if it takes another couple 100 days or another 100 days or 200 days to get to a new all-time high or so, is that too strange? Is that too bad? No, because it's done it so many times. Every single time it's just a trend line. It took a couple 100 days. Here 160, here 190, here almost 400, but it got to a new all-time high. It got to a new crazy high point. And perhaps you might even want to extrapolate and say it took 616 days to go from this major dip to the all-time high. But let's just pick one new high. Or if we're taking it a little step lower, if we're looking at the point at which it took out the all-time high here from this major dip, it only took roughly 260 days. Just for fun measure, for you guys to understand that indeed you'll be surprised with how quick things can flow. And you might think, oh, no, don't think about it too much. My own personal suggestion and thoughts is just keep on buying like a madman. Always do your own research, though, and only invest what you're able to lose. Don't play with money that you need for food and whatnot. And obviously, crypto is volatile. It can crash more. But people in my comment section are every day saying XRP is dead, crypto is dead, yada, yada, yada. Ignore the FUD. People are building, this technology is being built right in front of us, and it's here to stay, right? Every single one of you is going to become crazy freaking rich, I think. if you just stick with the process, because it's not that hard. Just get through this difficult process of not giving up, and you'll enjoy all the benefits, I think. But yeah, that's it for my thoughts. Not financial advice, just my thoughts. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you again in another stream tomorrow or video tomorrow. Most likely I'll do one pretty early tomorrow as well, just covering all the news that's come out, or potentially a video regarding XRP millionaire stuff, because I think that's interesting. But yeah, take care, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by, and see you all tomorrow in another update. Peace out.